Most people think toxins are only a problem if something is obviously toxic. A strong smell, a chemical spill, mold that you can actually see. But what if the real issue isn't one big exposure? What if it's hundreds of small ones? Every day your body is processing chemicals from your air, your water, your food, even the materials inside your home. And each one might be considered low level and each one might be labeled safe. But the problem is your body doesn't experience them just one at a time. This is where so many families get stuck. They clean up one thing, but they still don't feel better. They replace one product, but symptoms linger. And no one explains why this happens. Welcome back. I'm Amanda. I'm a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. I am the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where I help you create the healthiest home possible by reducing toxins and creating a space that actually supports your health and wellness rather than burdening it down. Today we're going to talk about cumulative exposure, also known as body burden. We're going to talk about why low-level toxins can add up over time and what they're doing to your body and your health in you and your kids. Most parents I work with are not intentionally exposing their children to toxins. They're actually trying to make really good choices. They actually buy products that are labeled safer. They clean regularly. They open windows when they can, and yet many still notice patterns that they can't quite explain. It might be a child who never fully seems rested, or allergies that worsen instead of improving. There's also a lot of skin issues that will flare without a clear trigger, and then oftentimes subtle behavior changes that don't feel like a phase because they last and last. And what often gets missed is not a single bad product or one very clear culprit. It's how small everyday exposures accumulate and interact over time inside a developing body. When parents raise concerns, they're often reassured that everything is fine. Each exposure is considered low. Each product meets regulatory standard. Every material is approved for use. But what rarely gets explained is that these standards look at exposures in isolation. They don't reflect real homes where dozens of chemical inputs happen simultaneously every single day. This conversation matters because health is shaped by the total environment, not one product, not one toxin, or even one moment. Cumulative exposure refers to the combined effect of multiple chemicals entering the body from many sources at the same time. So indoor air, household dust, furniture, flooring, cleaning products, personal care items, and moisture-related contaminants, they all contribute. Most safety testing evaluates chemicals one at a time, and homes don't work that way, and bodies do not work that way. Your child's body is processing all of these inputs together continuously. Children are not small adults. Their detoxification systems are still developing. Their immune and nervous systems are still calibrating. So pound for pound, children breathe more air, they drink more water, and absorb more through their skin than we do as adults. They also spend more time close to the floor and frequently have their hands in their mouths. And this means early life exposure carries more weight, even when levels seem very low. The CDC's biomonitoring programs have identified dozens of industrial chemicals in children across the United States. These findings reflect everyday families and not extreme situations. Research on mixture toxicity shows that chemicals with similar biological effects can act additively or in a way synergistically, especially endocrine disrupting chemicals. And at low doses, these compounds can still interfere with hormone signaling, immune response, and neurological development when they're all combined. So this is where the concept of body burden becomes really important. Body burden refers to the total chemical and biological stress the body is carrying at any given time. And it reflects what the body is processing continuously, not just what it encounters once. Symptoms often emerge when that total load becomes too much for the body to manage efficiently. Now, the body relies on detoxification systems. This includes the liver, kidneys, lungs, your gut, your skin, and your lymphatic system. In children, these systems are still maturing. So the enzymes needed to break down and eliminate chemicals are not fully developed, which means capacity can be very limited in kids. And when input exceeds that output, accumulation occurs inside the body. So a really helpful way to think about this. Are you a little unsure about where you even should be starting with the healthy house? Like, what are the first steps? After 10 plus years of hands-on experience, I know what those first steps are, and I know the steps to take that won't have you spending lots of money in the beginning, but will get you excited for all of the changes and all the potential that your house has. The truth is, creating a healthy house doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You just have to know the exact steps to take. Anybody can check things off a list, and that's exactly what I'm here to help you do. My free ebook is an amazing resource to help you get started on getting toxins out of your house and creating healthier habits, and also planning for the future for some of those bigger changes. Body burden idea is as a bucket. So each exposure adds water to the bucket. Some drains out as the body detoxifies and eliminates waste. So imagine your bucket has a very tiny hole. But when exposures come in faster than the body can clear them, that bucket fills up. And once it reaches capacity, overflow of that water in our bucket shows up as symptoms in your body or in your child's developing body. So the truth is that overflow does not look the same for every child. It might show up as frequent infections or inflammation. It could show up as sleep disturbances, behavioral changes, headaches, skin reactions. There's even been studies that have shown an increasing sensitivity to everyday exposures. So when these symptoms are viewed individually, they're really easy to dismiss. But once you start putting them all together, they often point to cumulative stress within the body. Sleep is when children repair their tissue. It is when they regulate hormones, and it's when their immune function gets supported. So if the bedroom environment introduces chemical stress through materials, through dust, or poor air quality, that recovery window is compromised. Bedrooms matter because children spend the longest uninterrupted time there. This is a place where you can make so many changes so easily. We can pay attention to materials, get all electronics out and away from the bed, because again, it's no single source that is extreme, but together they create that persistent irritation and burden on the body. Another example of a place we can really pay attention to is our living spaces. These are often concentrated with multiple exposure sources in one small area. You could look at upholstered furniture, rugs, electronics, the finishes, and decorative items. These all contribute to indoor air chemistry and dust inside your space. And a lot of times children spend hours in this space each day, making that cumulative exposure more likely. So one example that comes to mind is a family that replaced an old couch with a new stain-resistant couch. So that means it has treatment on the couch cushions. Within months, their toddler had developed rashes and was having some wheezing while they were breathing and running around. So testing revealed that fluorinated compounds were releasing into the air and dust from this additive that they had put on the couch cushions. So combined with existing VOCs that are already in the room, the total chemical load increased beyond what that child could tolerate. Another area we can really pay attention to are bathrooms. They add another layer of complexity. So moisture will actually increase chemical off-gassing, and it supports biological contaminants like mold. It makes the bathroom a place where we can have multiple exposures exposures at once. These chemical and biological stressors act on the body together, amplifying impact to our systems. As we talk about this, I really want to bring to mind how reality really matters, because most families will not be able to replace everything at once. Risk reduction still helps, but improving ventilation, managing moisture, reducing dust, and prioritizing sleep spaces can significantly lower the total exposure. And this is why I always say progress matters more than true perfection in our rooms and in our homes. So assuming one clean product offsets an unhealthy environment does not work. Cumulative exposure requires a cumulative approach. And so the goal is lowering the total load, not finding one perfect solution. And this is why it is a constant change that you have to make to your home and your habits. We want to be consistently progressing forward in the health of our homes so that we can really take that cumulative load and that cumulative burden on our body and reduce it significantly. When you're paying attention to yourself, your body, your child's body, some of the early signals that can kind of clue you into this cumulative overload of the body would be asthma, allergies, eczema, even attention challenges and unexplained symptoms are often that early signal of overload. A lot of it comes out in our skin, especially in children. So reducing cumulative exposure increases the body's margin of safety and resilience. It gives it that breathing room to detox what it's coming into contact with anyways. So understanding cumulative toxin exposure, it can help you shift your focus from fear to a strategy. It can help families prioritize based on impact rather than on what is being marketed to you. And if you are unsure where the biggest contributors are in your home, targeted assessments can really help you understand what you should be focused on. So many families are surprised to learn that meaningful improvement often comes from addressing just a few key sources rather than attempting a full overhaul. So if you would like support evaluating your home through a health-focused lens, you can book a consultation with me to create a practical plan that not only protects your family, but also respects real-life constraints like time and budget. As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you were able to take at least one idea from this week's video and apply it in your own home. If you did find this video helpful, definitely give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm here every single week with new tips, new ideas, new ways for you to create a home that actually supports your health and wellness rather than burdening it down.